You can't even discern the difference between what your soul tells you and what your programming or your wounds or your fear or your inner child is telling you to do. Your inner child will never want to go over there and do that thing because it's scary. That might be the most powerful, incredible opportunity of a goddamn lifetime over there. You'll be like, nah, I don't resonate with that. You want to know what doesn't resonate with that? Here's discernment. What part of you doesn't resonate with that? What part of you is triggered by that over there? Your level of discernment is based on the level of consciousness that you function in. The inability to tell the difference between what your soul is nudging you and guiding you in the direction your soul wants you to go, that's a true leader is following their soul first. You learn to read energy and you learn what your soul is guiding you to do versus your goddamn fucking programming. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Hello, amazing, incredible, evolving beings. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Rachel Fiori, and let's dive in. We're going to talk about discernment today. Divine discernment, by the way, and what discernment is not. Use your discernment. Use your discernment. When listening to, influencers, spiritual people, spiritual teachers, people that can educate you or not, or lead you down the wrong path. How do you know? Use your discernment, use your discernment, use your discernment. Uh-oh. Well, we need to wake up and we need to be educated for real. Discernment is not about your choices, your preferences, or what you want. Let's say this again. Discernment is not about your choice or your preference in something. It isn't about what you want or don't want. Okay? It has nothing to do with what you want or don't want. It has nothing to do with what your choice is in the matter or in a situation. It has nothing to do with what your preference is, what you prefer or not prefer or don't prefer. That's not discernment. 9 times out of 10, that's your goddamn ego, shadow self programming coming into place, taking over and guiding you, most likely down the wrong damn path. Use your discernment. Uh-oh, time out. Let's understand what discernment is. Here's the first thing. There is a hierarchy in our level of discernment, our ability to discern. Yes, there's a hierarchy. Just like you are in different grades, preschool, kindergarten, 5th grade versus 9th grade versus a senior in high school versus a college student versus a master's degree student. I go to this example a lot because it's one of the easiest ones to comprehend. So, of course, there is a divine hierarchy. Doesn't mean superiority. You're in different grades. A 3-year-old can't comprehend what a 23-year-old can comprehend. Come on, people. A 23-year-old doesn't have the fucking cognitive ability, because your brain isn't fully developed yet, nor the life experience to comprehend what an evolved, healthy 45-year-old can comprehend. This should be easy to understand, okay? So guess what? Your level of discernment is based on the level of consciousness that you function in. So it's not discernment is discernment and is discernment, and that's just black or white. And this victimizing victims that we love to do in our patriarchal culture of cult leadership, brainwashing, enslavement bullshit, that everybody's dumbed down, of you should have known better. You should discern, you should pick better, all this crap. That's part of the brainwashing, the fucking patriarchal cult leadership bullshit in the world to enslave you and keep you dumbed down. Blaming the victim for being victimized. That's fucking psychotic. But, that's what patriarchy is, psychotic. That's what cult leaders do to brainwash you. So discernment is not black and white, and it isn't something that you simply gain and then that's it, you've gained it. So it's not black and white. That's what I mean when I say it isn't black and white. Discernment is based on your level of consciousness. So that means your capability of true divine discernment is going to increase. You will be invited to and challenged to evolve your ability to discern. The more evolved you become, the more life experience you have. When you raise your level of consciousness, you are now at that new level of consciousness. That new level of consciousness, guess what? You're not discerning much of anything other than what is below you. Below does not mean inferior. It means what you've already mastered. For example, you can easily understand first elementary school mathematics, when you're a college student. You're learning higher levels of math as a college student. So what's below you, meaning what you've already achieved, mastered, learned, experienced, lower levels of mathematics. You can discern the difference between basic mathematics and algebra versus calculus, and calculus versus mathematical equations of quantum physics, for example. Like, that's discernment. There's different levels of math. You can't comprehend the difference with calculus and quantum physics when you're in second grade. They all look it all looks like, who knows what in God's name that looks like, because it looks like it's another language, because it is. But it isn't 1 + 1 = 2 anymore. It isn't simple multiplication or division when you're starting to learn that. You're like, what are the letters in there that's so confusing? When you start to learn an algebra. Do you understand? So way higher than you can't discern. You don't have the ability. You can only discern at the level of consciousness that you function as or in. Does this make sense? Okay. So here's a mistake people make. Just take what resonates. Oh, for the love of fucking Christ, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a lack of gaining the skill of discernment, and it is low level of consciousness to just take what resonates. That's a terrible level of, either anybody teaching you that is either, this is not a judgment, it is the way of truth. They are either in complete ignorance because they are at a lower level of consciousness themselves. So while you're learning from people that are functioning at such low levels of consciousness, that's how we gain discernment. Or there's somebody out there that's a spiritual plant or whatever in order to mislead you on purpose, because they're one of the fucking cult leaders working for the real cult leaders. Do you understand? Because that exists. Okay. So take what resonates. Follow your heart. Oh, for the love, don't do that either. Be careful. Listen to your intuition. Well, that's easy to say. So many people, look, let me say this first. Your intuition, your soul guiding you, is always 100% there, 100% of the time. You have access to your soul 100% of the time. That is your number one teacher in this lifetime. Number one teacher in this lifetime. Let me tell you, everything that in all of our core curriculum and everything that I teach at Masters of Self University, that our certified coaches of oneness teach. And let me tell you this, behind the scenes, when I am mentoring, coaching, and bringing up our mystical coaches of oneness, I remind them, you all better become leaders. You're not here to I'm not here to fucking be some savior bullshit, follow me and put this fucking separation between all of you and me and all that bullshit, guru crap that exists. That's to be completely abolished by me in this organization. We don't function that way because it's a load of fucking horseshit. I don't function that way, so I will not create an organization based on that. I want leaders, everyone to become a leader in this organization. And leadership looks differently and is reflected by your unique, beautiful, divine personality. It doesn't mean you're not a leader because it looks different. Okay? So rise up into your own leadership. But how do you do that? When discernment is the inability to tell the difference between what your soul is nudging you and guiding you in the direction your soul wants you to go. That's a true leader is following their soul first. That's what I teach. That's what I teach on an energetic level at so many different levels at MSU and even with our own certified coaches of oneness. And you don't just listen to me because I fucking say so. You learn to read energy and you learn what your soul is guiding you to do versus your goddamn fucking programming. Because your programming are aspects of you, so to speak. A lot of your and sometimes it's not at all. But again, how do you know the difference? What am I talking about? I mean, go to Masters of Self University, become a student. This is stuff we teach at all different levels, higher and higher and higher levels in our university, in our classes. Okay. So your programming, your unhealed inner child wounds, for example, do you understand that your wounded child fractured off and trapped at 6 years old or 2 years old or 12, depending on your experience, your trauma, whatever's unprocessed and unhealed? That's a fractured off piece of you that is trapped as a 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 12, whatever. And that part of you is you. Let that sink in. Open your heart and feel that. That is a part of you. You were 2 years old once. You were 7 years old once. And you were a 7-year-old that went through a trauma that you might not even remember with your mind. Your body remembers because your cells hold that memory. Your body holds the memory of things. You always remember. It just doesn't necessarily mean you remember the event with your mind. Fuck your mind. Your mind's a dick. Don't listen to your mind. Oh, this is part of learning discernment. Stop listening to your goddamn mind. To elevate to higher levels of divine discernment is you no longer listen to your mind. You got to get out of your goddamn mind. What you think, what your preferences are, what your choices are. Your preferences and your choices are typically based on your wounding, your programming of powerlessness, of fear, of low self-worth, of whatever, arrogance and superiority. That's your choices and your preferences, what you're being guided towards. Follow your intuition. You can't even discern the difference between what your soul tells you and what your programming or your wounds or your fear or your inner child is telling you to do. Your inner child will never want to go over there and do that thing because it's scary. That might be the most powerful, incredible opportunity of a goddamn lifetime over there. You'll be like, nah, I don't resonate with that. You want to know what doesn't resonate with that? Here's discernment. What part of you doesn't resonate with that? What part of you is triggered by that over there? By him or her? By the tone of voice? By the curse word you hear her saying, she's supposed to be fucking spiritual? What part of you is triggered by that? Other than your emotional fragility program, your wounding, your inner child, your powerlessness, your judgment, your fucking ego. You can't even discern truth. How the fuck are you going to discern your own soul telling you what to do and what not to do? Do you see it? So that doesn't resonate with me. I'm going to ignore it. You want to know what? Your soul, your divinity, true divine guidance often comes in a whisper. It is the softest, gentlest. It's like taking a hair out of your head and gently touching the tip of that hair onto your skin. One little, that's it. Most people wouldn't even fucking feel that. That's what it's like. Your soul, your divine team, and it doesn't mean they never beat you over the head with something. It doesn't mean they never shove you into something that's like a punch in the face, a car wreck, a something big, a disaster, a divorce, a cheating, yes, big, massive events to wake you up can be there. So this is where discernment is critical. It isn't 100% of the time one thing or the other. but your divine messages come through, the more elevated you become, those messages get softer. They're actually softer because you're tuning into such high frequencies. It's very challenging to receive that message or hear it or translate the message or even notice that it was there. When you are in thinking, when you are in your wounding, when you are in your programming, you can't hear that level of softness because it blocks it out. So that doesn't resonate with me. Uh-oh, let's go back to this. That doesn't resonate with me. You can't hear it at the vibration you're meant to. You want to know why? It's too high for the vibration that you function in. So you actually don't fucking have discernment in this example at all. You're dumb and blind to what you should be paying attention to over here. You're like, that doesn't resonate with me. And then your wounding takes you over here in the opposite direction. Your wounding takes you down a path of treachery, suffering, contrast, tough lessons, because that's your program. That's your unhealed trauma talking. That's your inner child that doesn't know better. How does a 3-year-old know better? So a 3-year-old wants to do what a 3-year-old wants to do. Your inner child who's, let's say, 16 years old, who is throwing a fit and rebelling and wants to go against anything that seems like power and authority. It doesn't matter that it's divine power. If power is in front of you and you're trapped as a fucking know-it-all, arrogant, fucktard teenager, then you're going to fight against that power. Be like, I'm going to attack you. Fuck you. I'm going to do anything you say. I'm not going to listen to you. You're full of shit. Blah, blah, blah. How old do you feel? How old do you sound? How old are you behaving right now? Because it's not as a 30-something-year-old. It's as a broken, obnoxious, arrogant, rebellious teenager. That's who's showing up to the party. So you don't resonate with me. Well, of course not when you're in your weakness and I'm in my power. Of course, I'm not going to resonate. You don't understand energy and vibration at all. You don't have the education in energetics that the whole world fucking needs, which is why I provide it. You're fucking welcome. Go to Masters of Self University, become a student, because this is all the levels that we teach. And we teach courses to teach you this step by step by step, level by level by level, master it, go the next level higher. Guess what? When you do that, you gain a higher level of discernment, higher level of discernment. That means the false light gurus of the fucking world who are narcissistic, patriarchal cult leaders, like the Aubrey Marcus kind of bullshit. You can't discern the difference when you first start listening to somebody like him and all the other ones that are the examples of this crap. Because you're still coming from the programming that relates to the nonsense that's being spewed at you. If you're used to being abused and taken advantage of, those streams of consciousness are going to vibrate. Those are what you relate to. Energetically, you are familiar with those. Stop blaming people and re-victimizing them and blaming a victim again and again and again. You chose it. You attracted it. It's not that simple. You don't fucking know energetics when you say that shit. You're uneducated in quantum energetics. It's more complicated than that. Streams of consciousness where you've been abused or victimized or walked all over, you've been enmeshed or in codependency. So when somebody masks themselves as somebody who, oh, look at me, I'm vulnerable and I speak my truth and blah, blah, vomit, bullshit, brainwashing, patriarchal nonsense. Oh, look at me, this is divine masculine because I cry in front of you. That doesn't mean that's divine masculine. Just because somebody is crying, you have to learn to go deeper than the fucking surface level behavioral program. And this is such a good example. So you have a false cult leader in front of you that's drug addicted, sex addicted, leading you down pseudo spirituality. And you think because he cries in public, that somehow means, oh, look at vulnerability, divine masculine. Or maybe this is a narcissistic manipulator who's using that because he knows that's what's going to lure you in discernment. How do you tell the difference? Because on the surface level, when you watch somebody, observe somebody, their behavioral program, on the surface level, when you lack discernment, you'll believe what you see, or you'll just reject it and not believe anything. Two sides of the same fucking coin. No different than just because a child is crying. I had this with a friend many years ago. She had me evaluate her son. And in the evaluation, he starts flipping out crying. And she went into this passive, pathetic, oh, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Are you kidding me right now? She had zero fucking discernment of what that kid was doing. He was 100% controlling her, manipulating her in the moment. His tears were not genuine. He was not, oh, I'm so sad. He wasn't. He fucking cried on purpose because he knew he could manipulate and control her and get her to stop making him listen if he fucking flipped out and started crying. And I looked at her, I'm like, oh boy, do we got work. Whoa, fucking got work to do here. He's completely manipulating you. These are false, fake tears. He's learned to cry because that's when you back off and you don't make him follow through and listen because he's crying. So tears are not tears are not tears. They don't mean one thing. And then you have another child, another person who starts crying and oh my God, there it is. They're connected to their wounding. They are crying, the sadness, the grief, the whatever it is. Oh, and it's just love them, be gentle, support them, encourage that beautiful job connecting to that. Go deeper, let that come up. Let's process that. Let's bring love to that. Let's activate the way of unconditional love. Let's activate the way of harmlessness and gentleness. Let this fully come up. You're doing such an amazing job. Feel what you need to feel right now. Give it a voice, validate it. Acknowledge it, be present with it as the way of presence. This is what we want to do. Two people crying, and they mean completely fucking different things. One, whether it's a child or an adult in their 40s saying I'm a spiritual fucking teacher here when they're fucking not. But you believe them because you lack discernment. Do you understand that to wake up for real and to function as higher levels of consciousness, not everything across the board, no matter what it looks like, is the same. It doesn't mean the same thing. So a man crying in front of you doesn't mean he's being vulnerable. It could mean that he's fucking manipulating the shit out of you because he's a cult leader and he knows that. And nowadays, with all the new age shit coming out, all this new age spirituality, you'll fall for it. You'll automatically assume he's divine masculine and you'll listen to him and pay money and follow him and blah, blah, blah. You'll do all the things. You know why? You're the one that lacks discernment. Why do you lack discernment? Because you haven't put all of your effort, your time, your energy, your willingness, your devotion, your resources into educating yourself for real at a quantum energetic level. You have to fucking read energy. Oh, I do read energy. I do follow my soul. You fucking missed the teaching if you automatically assume that. Because the majority of the time, people are listening to their intuition. It doesn't mean you don't sometimes listen to your intuition accurately. But you can't discern the difference between, well, what's a mental program running right now compared to what your soul's saying? Oh, wait a minute. Your soul isn't saying anything right now. That in and of itself is communication to you. You know why? Because sometimes what that means is you're so busy focused on and listening to what your fucking mind is saying, all your mental programs running. You are literally, your soul could be talking to you and you'd fucking ignore it. You don't hear it. So your soul takes a back seat and shuts up and lets you fuck around. It's like fuck around and find out. Literally. That's not in a nasty way. It's like, okay, fuck around and find out. Meaning, you want to keep listening to your stupid egoic shadow self mental programs running. You're going to listen to your mind over your soul, over your actual divinity. Okay. Your soul sees you. Your soul's like, well, that's how you want to learn. Okay. So then your soul goes quiet. And your mind and your ego has a lot of space to come online. You have a choice in that moment. This is an exercise in gaining discernment. Do you listen and focus and quantum entangle energetically with what your mind is saying, your mental programs? Because as soon as you consent to it and quantum entangle at an energetic level like that, that's co-creating your reality now with streams of consciousness that are coming in through your mental programming. And then your emotional programs, and then all the feels come. Oh, I have to do this. I'm following my heart. Oh, I hope not. A closed, wounded, scarred heart. I hope you're not following that. That'd be the worst thing to follow. And yet, in a way, it's a reflection of the cult leadership that we have with sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissistic, quote unquote, people in leadership positions. They're misleaders. They're not actual leaders. They're misleading you. So humans are the only ones that follow dysfunctional, sociopathic leaders. Like the animal kingdom, nature doesn't do that. They leave them behind. Some of them even kill them. They don't follow them. The dysfunctional, psychopathic, they don't follow dysfunctional leaders. They handle them. They don't tolerate them because they put everyone in jeopardy. You let that sink in? They compromise everyone, the whole pride, the whole pack, the whatever it is. You are compromised. Nothing, no beings in any realm, in nature, on this planet, follow dysfunctional, sociopathic, psychopathic, fucking distorted, quote unquote, self-proclaimed leaders. They don't let them take the positions of leadership because they can see very clearly they have discernment that they shouldn't be in those positions because they're not capable, because they're not empathic, they're heartless. You know, the real leaders, empathic animals. They can feel and sense everything, people in danger, and the agony of someone in the pride or the pack or the group. They can sense danger that will impact the group. Highly sensitive animals are the ones that alert everyone to danger before anybody's aware that danger exists. Those are the highly sensitive. And there's 20% or so of the population of all animals that are highly sensitive, just like in humans, which is why they're the real fucking leaders. Because they're like, hello, this false light, sex addicted, drug addicted narcissist, cult hello, anyone? Bueller? Hello, anyone? Danger, danger, more brainwashing. That's patriarchy. Nobody? Anybody? Someone? And the lack of discernment, millions of people follow. It's quite fascinating to witness. It isn't about what you want. That's not discernment. That's ignorance and arrogance. It's unconsciousness. I'm going to go this way. This is what I want. I'm going to follow that person. That's what I want. They say what I want to hear. They tell me what I want to hear. They justify my lifestyle. So I'm going to go listen to them. Well, you lack discernment. It's not about justifying anybody. It's not about your desperate need for validation in some way by somebody. The fact that you need that shows your brokenness and how unhealed you are and your level of consciousness, which is very low. And that isn't a judgment. It does show where you're at. Just like a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum, not getting something they want, shows the level that they're at compared to a 35-year-old who hopefully wouldn't throw that kind of a fucking tantrum. Although we do see, just because you're older doesn't mean you're not a child. And part of the reason for that is you're not raising in your level of consciousness. You're not getting the proper education. You're not willing and devoted enough and putting your energy, all of your resources should be going into raising your level of consciousness, healing yourself, elevating to higher levels. And when it isn't, and you're just sort of coasting and following people who tell you what you want to hear to justify your choices in your lifestyle, oh, because that resonates with me. Well, you don't have any fucking discernment. Let me tell you, there have been things in my life to date that were the most powerful things in my life that I was like, my first reaction was like, no fucking way. I don't resonate with that. And usually that's like, okay, what's going on there? Why not? And that was for me to gain discernment over the years, over the decades. Well, that's interesting. I would immediately want to shut the door on that. Well, how come? Gaining discernment isn't about making a choice or acknowledging what you want or don't want or what your preference is. None of that means anything, and it doesn't matter. Gaining discernment is reading vibrational frequency accurately. And if you can't even read your own, the streams of consciousness that flow through you, then you don't have fucking discernment, people. Just because you get lucky once in a while, and sometimes you're right, doesn't mean you actually have the skill of discernment. You don't have the level of consciousness of discernment. You don't. If you think it's about what you resonate with or what you want to follow or not want to follow, you want to listen to or not want to listen to, you prefer to learn from or not prefer to learn from, and you think that's discernment, you're as ignorant as they come. Completely fucking unconscious, which is the problem with then just listening to people that are put in your face to listen to. If mainstream is still putting things in your face, you need to question why they're putting it in your face, even if it's quote unquote spiritual. If mainstream is bumping up certain people for you to listen to, you should question why. And don't go into your mind about it, because I'm never encouraging you to go into your mind about anything. Question it and start to feel into the energies. And what that means is that person's energy, their frequencies are going to trigger and activate the streams of consciousness, the energies flowing through you. What streams of consciousness are flowing through you are going to be activated by other people in this world. Let's start there, period, end. It's that simple, okay? So learning and gaining and developing the skill of discernment is that person in front of me that I'm listening to right now, for example, that person is activating what in me? What is that person activating? And you have to gain the ability through education and practice and implementation and integration. You have to gain the skill of identifying what is that person activating inside of me? What streams of consciousness are already right here inside of me that that person's activating? And if it's lust, then I need to see that that's activating lust. That doesn't mean that's a good thing. It means, well, shit, this is here. So objectification. Inequality is being activated because anytime you got lust flowing through you, you have these other things flowing through you too. That's not healthy sexuality. I'm talking about fucking lust. It's disgusting. It's objectifying. It's demeaning. It's degrading. 100% dysfunctional and disgusting. And you're trapped in your unhealed, dysfunctional lower chakras, not your healed, elevated chakras, even if they're the lower chakras. Okay. What is that person activating inside of me? If they're activating the programs where I justify where I'm at and I don't have to evolve, oh, he's doing it. That justifies my existence and my choices, my shitty choices, that I don't want to look at my shadow self. Okay. If there is a person teaching you truth and it triggers the fuck out of you, why are you triggered? What is it activating inside of you? Why are you judging and projecting? because people are going to activate things inside of you, period, end. Streams of consciousness activate streams of consciousness. When you don't know quantum energetics, you don't know energy at this level, you haven't been educated yet, you don't know the difference. You just look at things in your old patriarchal, old earth duality consciousness. It either means this or it means that. Nope. It's either good or it's bad. You're making me feel a certain way and I can't handle that, so I'm going to project on you. You're bad. You lack discernment. You can't even comprehend what's being activated inside of you by that person. And then why? Is it something that needs to be shown to you? They're a mirror to you. Is it something that's activated so that you can see it and realize that you function like that in such a low level? Such a nasty vibration is flowing through you, that nasty stream of consciousness, or that insecurity, that low self-worth is being activated. That person isn't making you feel that way. That person is activating the frequencies that you function as in this lifetime so far to show you that this is activated and vibrate. You feel this way because that's a stream of consciousness flowing through you. They're holding up a mirror to you. Other times, people are activating the very fucked up, distorted streams of consciousness. And then you're like, oh, they're the same as me. Oh, I relate to them. So you get to stay dumb and blind and follow a false leader of false light. You lack discernment. When you don't know your own energies, the streams of consciousness flowing through you, your mental programs, emotional programs, your inner child wounds, how old you are at any given time, what's showing up as a fractured off, unhealed version of you. You can't tell the difference in any of that. And you don't know how to alchemize it and transform it. Then you lack discernment, my friend. That's the truth. That's the way of truth. So you need to educate yourself. And that means integrate, become. It means put it into practice. You have to gain the skill. This isn't knowledge. It is wisdom. Wisdom is a becoming. So again, discernment is never, ever, 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 ever about what you want, your choice, your preference in something. That's your fucking ego. That's your shadow self. There are things in this lifetime that your soul is like, no, you're doing it. You're doing that. You came here to do that thing. You're doing it. And the human you won't want to fucking do it. Not about your choice. And then you have to alchemize. And you have to love and nurture yourself. You have to fall into the way of surrender because your soul came here to do a certain thing. And you came here to elevate and you came here to become. And some of the things that we chose, our higher selves, our souls, came here in human form to do, we get here in human form, we're like, what the fuck did I think I was doing? I decided that's what I was going to do. There are things that I personally have chosen. I've had to surrender. Oh man, did I resist for so long? Because I'm like, I don't want to. And yet this is what I came here to do. So I need to. And the more I resist it, the more suffering I create for myself. So unless I enjoy that suffering or I'm not ready to stop suffering, I'm not going to surrender to that. I'm going to resist it. I'm going to fight who I really am and what I came here to do. Discernment isn't about what you fucking want. Grow up and stop being entitled, selfish, fucking babies. It's literally the ability and the skill based on your level of consciousness to decipher what is actual truth. Why is this vibrational frequency activated in me? What does it actually mean? Not what my mind tells me. Let me learn how to read energy frequencies. I need to learn how to translate energetic frequencies. That's discernment. That is gaining the skill of discernment. Going back to the example of two people crying, whether they're children, one is a little fucking manipulator shithead, and the other is just so in their sadness and they're really feeling the feels. You handle those two very differently. Whether they're adults. patriarchal cult leader men continuing to brainwash you and you falling for it because they cry. Get out of here. The fuck? And then you have a healthy person who's really connected to his emotions, and he's actually truly authentically processing, and he's allowing himself to feel, and he's allowing himself to cry. That is a very different scenario. They don't mean the same thing. Two different things. Feel the energy within, behind the behavior, behind the actions, behind the words. And that doesn't mean that you blame the victim for somebody, tricking them or manipulating them or playing them or, whatever it is. It doesn't, you can't, they're two different things. I saw I saw this woman. Goddamn people. Some people just really fucking deserve to be smacked in the face. I saw this woman post something about this couple. There's something trending. I don't even know who the hell these people are, so I'm not going to say their names. But I saw this woman posting something about a guy who was caught cheating, and on his, and I don't know if it's girlfriend, fiance, but she's like several months pregnant apparently, and he was caught cheating. And this woman gets on social media and she creates a post. You created the cheating because of what you attract to yourself. That is a woman who fucking lacks discernment. Like, okay, so can we stop blaming women for men's behavior, first of all? You misogynistic, brainwashed puppet of patriarchy. Just because you're a woman, you think you're not that. You are. Stop blaming her for his fucking choices. Number one. Number two, she didn't fucking attract it. You don't know how energy works. At any given point in time, somebody can have different energies, streams of consciousness offered to them. They need to choose what they're going to do with them. At any given time, somebody can have somebody put things in front of them, lust, opportunities, to bring them away from their relationship. Anybody can use their sex addiction, their own narcissistic, selfish fucking addictions, and then just call it radical monogamy and make that fucking word up, when all they're doing is practicing polygamy. And they're practicing that and they want that because they're fucking in addiction and they want to justify it and make it some spiritual thing because they don't want to look at their own narcissistic shadow and all the fucked up programming that they are. And they don't want to do the real work. They want to put on this big facade that they're doing the work on themselves and pretend, because people are still too dumb and blind to not fall for this shit. And then instead of let's just not even use the word polygamy. Let's just change it because we'll trick people this way. And then they'll be tricked into thinking this is a beautiful spiritual, look at this divine goddesses are talking through me now. Get the fuck out of here. Discernment. Oh my God. When you can't tell what's guiding you, talking to you, or communicating with you, and you can't tell how fucking shattered you start to become by doing the degree of plant medicine that you've done, and you can't discern the difference between your psyche and what's happening when you've done plant medicine 4,000 fucking times in like a week, good things are not going to come from that. The discernment, when beings communicate with you just because they're communicating with you, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so psychic. Oh, I'm channeling now. Oh, I'm receiving messages now. Careful. So what? So what I'm very strict on this, what I teach at Masters of Self University. It isn't about just opening up and becoming more psychic. Don't fucking do that. I don't teach that because it's reckless, it lacks integrity, and it fucking lacks wisdom. It lacks oneness. Just to Be a healer, be a medium, be a psychic, be a this, be a that. So what? Stop trying to be special. Okay. You have innate gifts in there and they will come online organically and beautifully and magically and in the most wonderful, loving ways that also infuse harmlessness and gentleness. And if you learn the different frequencies of harmlessness and gentleness and compassion and unconditional love and truth and presence and all the frequencies that are streams of consciousness that you can feel and experience and work with and become yourself, then guess what? False light, when you are advanced enough in working with energy, applied energetics, false light can't guide you because you'll be able to discern the difference. So this isn't about, you know, your psychic abilities come in line or whatever gifts you have. Like, I want to enhance those. Let me take the classes that make me more. I don't fucking teach that way. I don't let anybody in this organization teach that way. No, you become a being of oneness first. You connect to your power and you learn discernment at all the different levels. And naturally, at that level, your gifts, your healing abilities, your psychic abilities, all your beautiful aspects of you that are going to come online more and more and open up more and more will now open up from a grounded frequency of stability and safety, which is the frequency of harmlessness and gentleness. When you are the way of loyalty to that, and not becoming psychic and not becoming famous and not becoming, get out of the specialness bullshit. It's false loyalty. When you are the way of loyalty, you are grounded in oneness consciousness. You're willing to become, you're willing to heal your wounds. You're willing to dissolve your shadow and not function from your shadow self anymore. That's how you gain discernment. You understand now why it isn't just a preference or a choice or a wanting. Fuck what you prefer. Fuck what you want. Fuck your goddamn choices. Get out of your goddamn ego. Discernment is a divine ability. It's a divine skill. And every time you raise your level of consciousness to a new level, you've mastered this level that you're on. And then it's time to rise higher. When you rise higher to that new level, to master a new higher level of consciousness, your discernment goes to shit again. You know that? At that level, you don't know how to discern at that level. You haven't been at that level yet. That's why you don't blame the victim twice. Well, you should have known better. Go fuck off. Stop blaming people for being lied to instead of blaming the fucking liar for lying. Instead of blaming the brainwasher for brainwashing. Instead of blaming the victim, the victimizer for victimizing people. This is how ass backwards we are. And then you turn right around and tell people to have better discernment. You don't understand what discernment is when you do that. Do you need to have better discernment? Fuck yes, you do. That's why I'm doing a whole episode on it. But what is not taught out there in the collective, because we lack the fucking education, is discernment isn't about what you want or don't want. Not about preferences. It's a divine skill. And again, when you go to a higher level of consciousness, your discernment goes back to like nothing. I mean, everything below you, the levels below you, yes, you have great discernment. And then you go to a higher level and you're like, oh my God, I can't tell the difference between anything. What are these energetic frequencies that I'm more sensitive to now? And I have to translate. I don't know what the hell any of that is. So it's a new level of discernment with your new level of consciousness that you're now starting to function as. So then you need to master this level. With that comes mastering and gaining the skill of discernment at that level. That's like saying the math that you do in 12th grade versus 6th grade. You're gaining new skills. You don't suddenly take calculus and you just know how to do the whole book of calculus. You have to learn it. You're gaining the skill. Do you understand? Whereas you already had pre-calculus and you had geometry and trigonometry. You already know how to do all that. You had algebra 2 and algebra 1 and you had, do you understand? You already have that. You already gained that skill. So now you're starting, calculus. You have to learn a new level. This is how discernment works. So at this new higher level, there is also a new higher level of manipulation that is a potentiality. For example, how do you know you're being manipulated? Well, you be manipulated, you get manipulated, and you learn. Sometimes it's reading the energy of, oh my gosh, wait a minute. It feels like there is a stream of consciousness of manipulation here, and yet it's put in this pretty little package of a man crying and saying he's the spiritual blah, blah, blah. And yet you feel all the different energies there, and there is a stream of consciousness of manipulation in it. And you're like, oh, so he's in his feels. He's allowing himself to feel. You know why? He knows that's what manipulates people. You can still, so you can be lost in the, he's feeling something very deeply. But if you learn a higher level of consciousness, you're functioning at a higher level and you're gaining then that discernment, you feel the manipulation in it. You're like, something isn't right. Part of gaining discernment is something feels off. Something just feels off. Okay, great. That's a good place to start. So something is triggered and activated in you. Well, now, so we teach at Masters of Self University in our coursework. Now, go through your own programming and wounding. That needs to be dealt with first. So you learn how to energetically do that. Alchemize, get it out of the way. Because your programming, your unhealed traumas, your wounding, your whatever, that stuff that's still trapped in there that makes up your shadow self will always block, hinder, or contaminate your skill and ability of discernment. So you go there first. Let me alchemize. Let me see, okay, is this my own trauma? Is this my own wounding, blocking and interfering with this? Why do I feel like something isn't right? Well, sometimes it's just your own shit and it's just your wound and that's it. Heal that. Oh my God, I healed that. I alchemized that. Oh my God, this is beautiful, amazing in front of me. What a gift in front of me. I almost missed out on it because my own fucking wounding and programming shit. That's why you start there. That's why we teach it in the sequential order that we teach it at MSU. So start there to gain discernment. What is activated and what is triggered in me? Go do the deep inner work. I'm triggered because, and not because of you. Get the fuck out of it. You're a child. Get out. You're not ready. You're not ready to grow up for real. So just keep moving. I'm triggered because what programs am I running? And then you see what you're running and you go in and you start to energetically completely transform and shift and alchemize it. You empower that inner child to grow up and become a fully divinely powerful enlightened being. These are just a few of the things that we teach in our basic coursework. Okay. You alchemize and now you feel the difference and observe what's different. What's different now? And that's observing inside of myself. What are the different frequencies now? What is the level of wisdom? What is the level of calmness? And now that person over there that so triggered you a few minutes ago, now what do you feel? What are you observing from a divine level of truth? The way of truth, divine sight, feel. Oh, wait a minute. Holy crap. Oh, they're coming from absolute wisdom and truth and amazing and holy shit. I'm such gratitude. Oh, thank you. Or, oh my gosh, I can feel the shadow in them. I can feel the manipulation. I can feel the coercion. I can feel the brainwashing. Oh my fucking God. I can feel, I can see it clearly. I can feel it. I can discern the difference. They have all these other frequencies in there. Whoa. I should unplug from that person. And because I do the inner work and I've learned what that means for real, and I don't bypass it, I do the deep inner work. I alchemize, I transform, I elevate, and I start to learn all of the different frequencies that are communicating with me all at one time instead of I'm relating to this one and that one only, and therefore I think that's truth. You have to get out of that. Or don't, but I mean, you're just going to keep having false cult leader gurus brainwash you and take you down a path of bullshit. And if that's what you choose, that's okay. I honor that. I'm never going to judge you for it. But discernment is a skill that you have to gain and become. And it takes a lot of practice and a lot of inner work to gain discernment. It isn't just something you fucking have. And it isn't your choice, your preference, or what you want or don't want. Do the inner work. With it as an organic byproduct of warrior's work, of internal shadow work, is the skill of discernment. And again, the higher you go, when you go to the next level higher, your discernment is shit all over again at that level. That's normal. And then you have to gain, function that level of consciousness, become higher frequency. And with it comes that higher level of divine discernment. And then you go to the next higher level, and guess what? Your discernment is shit all over again. At that new level, you don't know which way is up, down, left, right, sideways, diagonal. Like, you don't know. You have to gain the skill of discernment. It equates to your level of consciousness. And at the really higher levels, again, your discernment is shit all over again. It's like you know nothing all over again. You know the saying, like, the more you know, the more you learn, the less you know. That's what that means. The more you learn, the less you know. You realize how much you don't know. With the more that you're learning, you're gaining wisdom, you realize how little you actually know, but it's also a lesson in what discernment actually is. There's all different levels of discernment. There's a hierarchy of levels of discernment. So the higher you go in your level of consciousness, you're going to gain discernment along the way, which is powerful and it is needed. And it's a safety mechanism because it helps you to protect yourself, of course, more and more and more. It doesn't mean you'll never get tricked or you'll never get manipulated by anybody, because at a higher level, it is a very cunning way to trick you, because they function at higher energetic higher, not meaning divine, but higher meaning, man, language is really limiting, more sophisticated ways to trick you, which is why to gain the discernment to no longer be tricked by people or fooled by people, you have to do the inner work and work on your shadow self. You don't automatically have discernment. That is a skill that you gain that equates and reflects your level of consciousness. And it doesn't mean that if somebody uses you or ends up, like, here's one more thing. I'm being really nudged to say this. People can choose to turn on you, and it doesn't mean they had bad intentions the whole time. So you can be friend, in relationship, romantic, in business relationship. Um, you decide to work on a project with somebody or whatever. This is why I mentioned the person earlier, the woman who was like, she attracted the cheating. Go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of here. God damn it. Keep blaming women for men being fucking pieces of shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can be in relationship with somebody, again, romantic, friend, business, a colleague. You could form a partnership with somebody in business, have the best intentions in the world. They might come in and there's nothing there to be concerned with. They're functioning, you can feel them, you know, and everything starts out wonderfully. They, it doesn't mean they cannot change. It doesn't mean they cannot be influenced by negative influences based on their unhealed wounds, traumas, level of consciousness. That's how how do I want to say this? That's how negative influences can come in through other people. It doesn't mean they were that when they first met you, but negative influences come in and they shift and they change. And that's when they'll steal from you, lie, cheat, backstab, not pay, not do whatever. Negative influences come in. So you didn't fucking attract that in that way. The fucking law of attraction bullshit, guys. It's preschool. Rise higher than that, please, for the love of Christ. If you're still really trapped in that law of attraction crap, I invite you to learn and go higher and get out of it, or move on, because you're not ready for this, and that's okay. You have to go master that first, and a lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with that. There's never fucking judgment. It's okay. But it isn't about just you attracted it. It's, vomit. Stop blaming people for other people turning on them and making a choice to be a fucking asshole. Why don't you become the way of compassion for the person who was lied to, cheated on, backstabbed? Are you kidding me? The fuck are we doing around here? Oh, that's right. Brainwashed by patriarchy. Forgot. That's what we're doing around here. Still, some people still. Yeah, some people we still have a long way to go, unfortunately. Okay? So, discernment. Gain the skill by doing the deep inner work, the shadow work, the healing work. No bypassing. You will not gain discernment by bypassing. You're trapped in the old earth, patriarchal matrix that you claim you're not a part of because you're spiritual now. Spiritual matrix is the fucking matrix. It's old earth, period, end. And a lack of discernment is never a judgment on anybody. So, by the way, just a loving, loving reminder. When you see that other people really lack discernment in things, like if you witness that in somebody, you're not here to judge them. That lacks the way of equality. We're not here to judge people. But again, a lot of you out there can't fucking even tell the difference between the way of truth. Somebody speaks the truth. You're judging. This is how fucking fragile and brainwashed we are. Grow the fuck up, step into your power. This shit needs to be called out. No tolerance anymore for the shit. Old earth system of patriarchal enslavement, cult leaders all over the world, including the false light fucking bullshit spiritual cult leaders that exist. We need to see the truth. And it means calling it out. And when you call it out and speak the truth for the love of everything holy, you yourself dissolve and alchemize your own personal judgment. Stop projecting your fucking judgment on other people. You don't need to judge somebody who's fucked up and dysfunctional and doing terrible things. You don't need to judge them. You need to have zero tolerance for them. You need to learn how to connect to your divine power and set the appropriate boundaries. Call this shit out in the world that we should have no motherfucking tolerance for at all on any level. Step into your goddamn power and have no tolerance for this shit. And yet, simultaneously, that doesn't mean you're superior and you get to judge other people. And it doesn't mean you get to project your motherfucking judgment that you still carry inside of you onto other people. The people that come in the comments and they're like, yeah, this and that. And it's like, you're fucking, I'm holding a mirror up to you. Yeah, dumb fuck. Jesus Christ. Do you not see it yet? I'm holding the mirror up. You're the one fucking judging. Learn to read some fucking energy. Take some courses at a metaphysical university. Strongly encourage that. Learn to read energetic frequencies and streams of consciousness flowing through people. You will never feel the judgment. Your judgment you feel, which is why you're fucking projecting it. You don't want to look at yourself as somebody who harshly judges and comes from such psychotic levels of superiority. And it's infuriating to you that somebody can be calling out the motherfucking truth and have no tolerance and be this divinely connected to their power, but also simultaneously, because I'm connected to my goddamn power, I don't judge. There's no judgment here. There's zero. Even in these false light gurus, it's psychotic what's going on. And it's just, I cannot still believe people fucking fall for this shit. And they have for so many years followed these people. It's just unbelievable to me that this is where the collective is still fucking functioning. It really is. That's not a judgment. Sometimes I feel a lot of disappointment. And then I alchemize it and I heal that and I rise out of that. And I don't let that flow through me and stay trapped in me because I walk my talk and I do exactly what I teach other people to do. I also honor the fact that I feel a lot of disappointment sometimes in the collective for falling for this fuck, that this is where we're still at. People don't have discernment and yet they're preaching to everybody else. Discern, discern, discern. You don't even know energetics enough to tell people to discern. Ugh. Yeah, it's frustrating sometimes for someone like me because I want you all to get it. You know why? Everybody on the planet wins when you actually rise and raise your level of consciousness and elevate for real. Everybody on the fucking planet wins. Everyone. benefits from you rising higher. Everyone benefits. I want nothing more than more and more and more and more and more, as many fucking people as humanly possible, to raise their level of consciousness, heal their wounds, dissolve their fucking shadow selves, and become leaders and become powerful, amazing, highly conscious people. We can all be incredibly highly conscious people. We shouldn't have just a few on the earth. That old fucking system of patriarchy where there's, just a few of us that are high level. All the rest of you follow. Get the fuck out of here. Do the work to wake up for real, y'all. Everyone on the planet benefits. Nature benefits. Animals benefit. The planet herself benefits. All other humans benefit. When you are divinely in your power, connected to your soul guiding you, gaining the level of discernment that you need to gain so that false light, psychopathic, narcissistic cult leaders that are still old earthers from patriarchy continue to try to mislead you, and you fucking follow the shit and you have no idea what they really are when it's right in front of your face. You have to gain that level of discernment, and the only way to gain it is do the fucking inner work that's painful and scary and challenging and difficult and treacherous. And it's warrior's work for a reason. It is warrior's work for a reason. Okay? And I encourage you all to do it. Everyone on the planet, everything on the planet benefits when you do, including yourself, of course. That's how you gain discernment. Deep inner work. Elevate. And of course, if you want help and you want to learn how to do it for real, authentically, go to mastersofselfuniversity.com. That's what we're here for. That's why I have an entire metaphysical university, is really for all of this stuff. So when you realize all the fucktards out there continuing to mislead you into false light, pseudo spiritual, old earth matrix, patriarchal bullshit, and you're ready to awaken for real and connect to your internal power and listen to your soul and discern the difference between your own soul versus your programming and your wounding and your trauma and your fears and your this and your that versus your soul, that's why this university exists. So, of course, I'm going to encourage you to come here, connect, learn, devote yourself to deep inner work and elevate. You and everyone on this planet benefits when you do that. And when you achieve it, I want you to be so successful in it, because we all benefit. The planet heals herself when you do that. So, of course, I want you to do that, right? In whatever way you find that is pure and authentic. But man, the only way to gain discernment is to do deep inner work. So, do the deep inner work in whatever way you find, as long as it's authentic. Do it for real. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.